into every desktop and look at every individual security event log.
They only audit failures, not successes, so they can see all the attempts, but once they break in, there's no chance.
Well, and then there's that, and people just audit failures and successes aren't audited. That's a fantastic point. But we don't audit the way we're supposed to. We know we should, right? We know we should have password policies applied to every box in our network. We don't do it. We should have networks that are designed to allow us to enforce some sort of policy of who can go where. You know, we still have big crunchy centers. We still have border networks and big flat networks inside where people can run around and accountants can get to development machines and developers can get to the vice president's workstation. You know, everyone has full layer 3 connectivity to everyone else behind the firewall. You know, and then when you say, you know what, I'm really scared about this threat. I think we should start to turn some knobs and prevent people from going to places they can't. Well, you know what we have in the center of our network? We have a switch, and it doesn't do that. So, sorry, tough shit. Have you ever tried to segregate on a port-based level who goes into what VLAN so then you can run it into a layer 3 device and do some kind of traffic control and shaping and, you know, who goes where? It's hard, right? What do you do it by hand and do manual MAC lists? That doesn't scale past 3 people. You know, do you do like a NAC 802.1x? Only if all the gear in every wiring closet supports it and all the clients support it. You know, go open up a wiring closet in you know, random enterprise in the Northern Virginia area. You'll find a switch that's 15 years old, right? People won't even be recognizable as a switch. It's probably got a 66 block on it and someone's doing gig Ethernet over it. You know, holy crap. Well, that box, I bet, won't be upgradable to 802.1x. Right? So we don't even have the core capability to do the basics of segregating our network in a meaningful way to prevent people from doing things they're not supposed to. This is sneezing into your arm, into your sleeve, right? I mean, this is what we're trying to do every day, and instead we end up sneezing into our crotch, okay? It's ridiculous, you know? And every morning we get up and we think, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to implement this 2-factor system and do all these other highfalutin things that cost a shit ton of money, and I'm gonna ignore the basics. Right? I'm not going to do the basic common sense things that I should do every day that will make a difference against the threats that we're seeing today. Right? Anyway, so another funny thing that happened on the way to the airport, I had to get naked and show everyone my bum so they realized I didn't have a bomb. There was a Christmas Day bomber. You know, he did something people didn't expect, which was strap explosives to his unit. There's a lot of places I could go with this. I'm not going to go to any of them. You know, but we've got things like, you know, 311, you know, all this kind of crazy stuff, body scanning, all these kinds of things that, you know, someone thinks is making us more safe in the air, right? I mean, ultimately, and we all know this kind of as security theater. Right? Does it really make us any safer? Does body scanning, is taking my shoes off, make it any safer? One guy tried to blow up one airplane with his shoe, and now however many hundreds of millions of people a year have to take their shoes off when they go through an airport, okay? Is it an appropriate response? Maybe, maybe not, but we keep layering all these things. It's defense in depth for the airline industry. Ha-ha. For anyone that's heard my defense in depth rant, we'll just insert the I think it's moronic quote and continue on. So is it a great use of our money? I don't know. Well,
Transport Canada wishes to advise travelers of new security regulations for flights to the United States. Carry-on bags are no longer allowed. You may be asked to submit to a full body scan. Security agents, at their discretion, may hose you down. You may be asked to complete 4 sides of a Rubik's Cube. 5 if you're flying to Nigeria. Failure to comply could lead to a full strip search. Once you're fully naked and your blood work comes back, you'll be free to be on your way. Please arrive 3 days prior to your flight. Transport Canada, a division of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security.
Safety first.
So I just want to be clear on one thing. I don't mean to disparage DHS and the hard challenge that they're fighting. Other countries are doing that for us. But it's a tough challenge. It's not, they're dealing with problems that we haven't faced before. We haven't faced in this scale. We haven't faced with a public who's quite as aware every second of everything that's going on, thank you, Twitter, of all the threats that we're facing and everything, all the countermeasures that are being employed. So, well, you think, well, that's security theater and it leads to this. Well, arguably, we could do the same video about our job and it would be even funnier because it's even sadder, right? We spend billions of dollars each year to protect our networks, right? Okay, how many airlines last year were put into the ground and people were killed because someone successfully committed a terrorist act? Whoop. None. How many people suffered intrusions on their network last year? Everyone, arguably. One. We'll just declare it a truth, okay? You just say one. Everyone got owned. That's pretty bad because we're spending a lot of money too, but we suck at it. We're not doing a very good job. And there's a lot of difference. I'll admit, like air travel, the physics of air travel hasn't changed since the dawn of time. It's still basics of lift and things like that. Our job changes every week, and I'll give you that, but come on now, we're spending a lot of money, and the news in the last 2 months was dire. Right? We were worried for a long time about making the case of needing security to go to the CEO and say, we really need to care about computer security. We really need to care about all these bad things happening. Well, all the news that came out in the last couple months made the case for us, right? It was on everyone's tongue. Google's going to pull out of China. All this stuff's going down. There's all these news reports about what's happening. CEOs reading the Wall Street Journal, holy shit, everyone got owned. I bet you we got owned too. They had the realization, what do you do now? Right? What's the next step? We're all the practitioners. What can we tell them? What can we do differently tomorrow? Spend money, damn right. How do you solve the problem? Spend more money. And then a year when they say, tell me how well you spent that money, and you come up, how many people have to do metrics for their job and say, this is how good we're doing, right? Those mean a lot, right? Fuck metrics. I mean, everybody, you get to the end of the year, you're like, I'm going to put some numbers down that make it look like we made progress. Sweet, I didn't get fired. It's tough because the response right now is, that's how the yardstick for the first year is going to be spend more money. And if this stays in the news and people still continue to have bad days and enterprise still continue to get intruded upon, we're going to need a different yardstick, and B, we're going to need different professionals because we're all going to be fired because they realize we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, which is keeping the networks and systems and people secure. So the TSA parody video that we just watched, I don't think is nearly as funny when you think of it the fact, well, they're actually being somewhat successful, even if it's a little theatrical. We're just failing at our jobs every day. There. I said it. That was it. That was a real downer. Yeah, so you can have fun now. I'm done being a bitch. Shit. Oh, come on. You have terrible aim. All right, anyway, on this note, we're going to take a 10-minute breather. We're going to get the first guy, I think Dan Crowley, up. Oh, my God, no, please don't. We'll get the first speaker up here, and we'll get ShmooCon kicked off officially. Thanks very much for making the snow again. Have a good one, folks.
I took one for you. Did you? Someone hit me with a ShmooCon launcher. That's the second time I've gotten hit. First one was because of you. Alright, so bystander. No, first ShmooCon he threw out prizes, and one of them hit me straight in the head. It doesn't matter. I need projectiles.